Zelensky appears to expose key Russian defense secrets to allies, raising questions over whether this could be Moscow's last straw. Captured Russian weapons are turning into an intelligence goldmine for the West, sparking debate over the risks and rewards. As a Putin aide warns of nuclear dangers, the West is being accused of provoking Moscow even further. Ukraine has launched the TrophyLab platform to provide international partners access to technologies recovered from captured Russian weapons. Digital Minister Mikhailo Fedorov said the new platform opens Ukrainian defense research and battlefield findings to allies around the world. The initiative is based on years of analysis conducted on Russian military equipment captured during the course of the war. Ukrainian military specialists and research centers studied components, vulnerabilities, and design features of recovered Russian systems. Mikhailo Fedorov said, and I quote, "The Ministry of Defense is launching the TrophyLab platform, a space that provides verified users with access to information on modern Russian weaponry. Ukraine will grant access to Russian technologies to our partners. Companies, research centers, and governments of the free world will be able to study Russian missiles and other types of armaments in detail." Unquote. Users of the platform can access technical documentation, research findings, and detailed analytical materials related to Russian weaponry. The platform also allows approved partners to request physical examination and testing of captured military equipment. Mikhailo Fedorov said, and I quote, "Several formats for working with samples are envisaged, from non-destructive examination to testing involving full disassembly or destruction of the item. This allows engineers to test their own solutions on real enemy equipment and significantly shorten the development cycle of countermeasure technologies." Unquote. Fedorov said the project is designed to strengthen international cooperation in the field of defense technology development. The database includes information and research material on modern Russian weapons recovered directly from the battlefield. Germany and the UK announced major new military aid packages for Ukraine, with air defense emerging as the top priority. The announcements came as Ukraine on June 18 struck a major oil refinery in Moscow, highlighting the continuing intensity of the war. UK Defense Secretary Dan Jarvis said Britain would supply 150,000 Ukrainian-made drones to support Kyiv's battlefield operations. Britain also confirmed plans to deliver more than 350 air defense missiles and radar systems by the end of 2026. The British package was valued at roughly €865 million and will be financed through a scheme using frozen Russian assets. Jarvis said the UK would assume command of the multinational force headquarters supporting Ukraine beginning next month. Belgium announced plans to transfer 7 F-16 fighter jets to Ukraine under a longer-term military assistance framework. Officials said 4 of the aircraft would be used for spare parts, while 3 would directly support combat operations. Sweden approved $108 million in U.S. weapons purchases for Ukraine through the Pearl funding program. Sweden's defense minister said the funding would help accelerate deliveries of U.S.-made air defense systems. The Swedish contribution through the Pearl mechanism has now risen to approximately $543 million, officials said. Sweden also invested around $400 million into an expanded program aimed at boosting Ukrainian drone production. Germany committed $400 million to purchase Patriot air defense missiles intended for Ukrainian forces. The funding was divided between the Pearl Initiative and U.S. foreign military sales mechanisms supporting Ukraine. Berlin specifically targeted PAC-3 interceptors, designed to counter Russian ballistic missile threats. Germany also joined a 4th round of Pearl support as part of NATO coordinated efforts to aid Ukraine. Bloomberg reported that Kyiv had requested additional Patriot interceptors directly from existing German stockpiles. The proposal would allow immediate deliveries to Ukraine, with later replenishment through future drone transfers.
We were very pleased that President Zelensky joined us for the UDCG meeting today. Once more, he made it very clear how important support is right now while you are having the momentum on your side, Mikhailo. We must not relent now. Putin deploys over 600 combat drones and dozens of rockets and cruise missiles. I have said it before, and I say it again very clearly. This is nothing but terror. Every night, innocent civilians are dying because of this. We cannot and we will not just stand by and watch this. This is why we will continue to support Ukraine in its effort to defend itself. It is necessary, and it is the right thing for the United States and the G7 nations to say that sanctions should be reinstated against Russian oil. Our focus remains on air defense. We have delivered another IRIS-T system to Ukraine. Most recently, we also fast-tracked the delivery of IRIS-T SLS and SLM guided missiles. Additionally, we will deliver a three-digit number of air-to-air missiles from our own stocks. And we have agreed to provide $200 million for the procurement of additional PAC-3 guided missiles under the Jump Start program. This means we will co-fund the first delivery tranche. We want to take the lead and encourage other supporters. We are also continuing to support the ongoing Pearl program. We will make another $200 million available for that. And we are continuing our regular deliveries of drones and long-range ammunition. We are deliberately promoting cooperation between Ukrainian and German enterprises as part of our support for Ukraine. This applies in particular to the development and production of drones, but also to the building up medium and long-range capability.
I have agreed that the UK will provide 150,000 Ukrainian-made drones, as well as more than 350 air defence missiles and radars, all of which will be delivered by the end of the year as part of a £750 million package funded by the sale of seized Russian assets through the ERA loan programme. I'm proud to announce also that the UK will assume command of the Multinational Force for Ukraine headquarters next month. Under the leadership of Major General Tom Bateman, the UK, France, alongside allies and partners, will prepare for the long-term regeneration of Ukraine's armed forces when a peace deal is agreed.
There was no concrete announcement of withdrawing troops or personnel from Germany or even Europe. What we have heard again this morning was an announcement of a review in the 6 months to come, and we discussed about that. And I think this is not a surprise either. It's about what I always underlined already last year in February. It's about a roadmap. It's about a synchronized way of doing it. The most relevant issue is to avoid dangerous capability gaps caused by withdrawing something and not being able to substitute to compensate in the time being.
In terms of the key priorities, there has been specific announcements of specific packages have been made. Everyone present at the UCG today understands and can specifically name why we need specifically those help in specifically those areas. In a closed format, we discussed some of our next actions, how we will continue taking the initiative from the enemy and beating the Russians in every technological cycle, and why we today need to invest into things that have not yet been discussed today, but what will be discussed in future, new types and kinds of drones, ballistics, etc. Also important today, there have been announcements on cruise missiles as well as counter cruise missiles and counter Shaheds and hundreds of missiles that have been announced today. So I hope that all of the partners see and have a clear understanding that we have a window of opportunity that is present.